everyone. I am going to make some yogurt in my Instant Pots. I ran out yesterday of the yogurt that I had on hand, so I'm going to make some more. There's no reason why I am going to do what I'm about to do except for your benefit. So I have 1/2 gallon of milk. What I'm going to do is pour 1/4 of it into my mini and 1/4 of it into my duo. And this is just to show you guys how you would make the yogurt in each one. So basically 1/2 gallon of milk requires 2 tablespoons of yogurt starter. So what's going to happen, because I'm splitting this in half into each one of these, each one will have 1 tablespoon. And then when it comes to straining it at the end to preserve space, I'm straining it together. I now have 32 ounces of milk in each one of my pots, which is 4 cups. This is the mini. This is the 6-quart duo. I would suggest making your yogurt at night because it has to sit for 8 hours. So unless you have all day to let your pot sit and you don't need to do anything else with your pot that day, then fine. But for me, it's better to do it before bed. So we'll get to that in just a second. So here we have the duo. So what I'm going to do on this one, and this is the Duo Plus, hit the yogurt button twice. And now you see it says boil. And now we're on the mini. And again, yogurt button twice. And now it says boil. So I'm going to just let that go on both of them until they stop on their own. So the Duo Plus has stopped and it now says yogurt. So at this point, I can now go ahead and move on to the next step. So now the Duo Plus says yogurt. So that means that our milk is hot. And whenever milk heats up, it forms a film on top. That's normal. I honestly just leave it there. The mini is still going. The mini is always going to be slower than the bigger pot, and I don't know why. But my experience with this pot, with everything that I've cooked in it, it's just slower. So the Duo Mini has just beeped at me. And now the screen displays yogurt. So I can actually open this. And when you make yogurt, you don't have to vent. You don't have to worry about that. To take this out and just let it cool down to 115 degrees. So my 6-quart is down. It's nice and at temperature. However, as you can see, this one is still not at 115 degrees yet, so it has a little more ways to go. So I'm going to go ahead and start on this one, and I'll show you that step next. So here, as you can see, I've added just a little bit of the milk from here into my measuring cup, put it in a small bowl, put it in whatever you want to. And I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of the yogurt starter. Now what I am using the Chobani plain non-fat. This is what I always use, just period, whenever I don't make my own yogurt. However, once you start making yogurt, you can save 2 tablespoons of your own homemade yogurt and use that as your starter moving forward. However, I went ahead and bought this so that you guys can see which kind that I use. So as you can see here, it contains live and active cultures. That is what you're looking for. So, and you also see here where it says non-fat milk. So you can use non-fat milk for your own if you want to. So these are the cultures that are in here. So I have 1 tablespoon. I'm adding this to this here. Okay. So now I just want to mix that till, you know, and let it until it's thin. Okay. So now that that is done, you just want to add it to the rest of your milk and just give that a really good whirl. So now the milk is back in my Duo Plus, and this does not matter. You can have it venting, unventing, it does not matter. So what you want to do next is hit the yogurt button. So here I have the mini. I'm going to hit the yogurt button. Here, yogurt button, 8 hours. Alright. Now you can go to sleep and let this do its thing. So, the difference between yogurt and pressure cooking is that your time, the way it counts down when you're pressure cooking. It will count up while it's making yogurt. So as you can see, the time here says 3 minutes. 3 minutes. As you can see, the time is going up instead of down. So what's going to end up happening is this is going to go for 8 hours, and I'm going to go to bed. And when I get up in the morning, we will see that we have our yogurt, and I will then strain it for another 8 hours. And this is something that you can do while you're at work. So before you go to bed, hit the yogurt button. Change the time to 8 hours. It will count up to 8 hours when you wake up in the morning. Strain it. So both have finished. It's the next day. So let's go ahead and open. This is the mini yogurt. And that's the Duo yogurt. And I'll show you with the spoon. See that? Yogurt. Yogurt. So now what I'm going to do is strain these. So what you guys can see here is I've put in the biggest pot, and this is my setup. It's a glass bowl, and use cheesecloth or coffee filters. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the smaller pot in here as well. And I actually usually have it overflow, but that's fine for me. You guys can use a bigger strainer if you want. Excuse me. You guys can use a bigger strainer if you want. So now what I'm going to do is put this in the refrigerator for the entire day. And when I come back, it will be strained out enough. Alright, so this has been sitting since this morning. I placed a paper towel. I mean, a paper towel. Well, initially I did place a paper towel over this, and I had it in the refrigerator. And the paper towel ended up getting soaking wet and then started dripping water onto the stuff below it. So I took the paper towel off and then covered with foil because I guess I ran out of saran wrap. So anywho, this is it. So you see the paper towel marks on my yogurt. I'm going to lift this up, and yes, I actually switched it into the IP inner pot. So that down there is the whey. It's not all of the whey. I actually drained some of this out, and I have a container of whey. So I'm not saving this particular batch of whey. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what it looks like once I transfer it into a bowl. So here's what we have. And I have it in a container that I'm able to seal, and I put it in the refrigerator up until it's gone. And it actually keeps for a while. Most people only use, they make it every week, so it depends, but this actually keeps for quite a while.